Hello, hello.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today for our exclusive launch event for the private sale of KNYT COYN. I'm Caitlin Ear. I'm the new communications content and experience director here at metaKnyts Media, and I'm very excited to be with y'all today. I'm so excited and I'm really passionate about using the unique aspects of the metaKnyts universe to connect more with our ecosystem. We have such an amazing community and such amazing intellectual property and resources. And I believe that these combined elements can really help drive engagement and get more people interested in what our community has to offer. So today I'm so excited to be here with Dele to give you an in-depth look at the newest metaKnyts project, which is called KNYT COYN, and all of its potential. So Dele, what's on your mind?
Hey, Caitlin, thank you so much for the intro. Welcome to the team. This is like our first like official outing, right?
I know it feels
Um,
great.
yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great to have you on board. So folks will have seen some stuff coming out from Caitlin, and we're gonna really up the ante on the communication and the community building and development, which is really brings us to Nitecoin, really, which is really the heart, the real purpose around Nitecoin is really galvanizing the community and really bringing the community to life, bringing an economy to the community, and really using the coin to generate value for the community, circulating this coin within the community, and really building, a flywheel engine for the overall project. So we're going to get into all of that today. It's great to have everyone here. Really exciting time. I'm just looking at the comments as well, navigating my way through here. Yeah, it's full. Good to see everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. Yes, I was feeling a little bit lonely out there until I saw, yeah, everyone's in the chat. So yeah, no, happy to chop into it, but I'll let Caitlin run the order of the show, and I'll answer any questions as we go through. So yeah, but
Awesome.
where shall we start? Where do we start?
Well, as folks know, we're here to talk about the KNYT COYN project and some of the vision and the key features and really, the power behind being involved in this movement. And as we're talking through things, feel free to keep using the chat and submit questions. We're going to have a section during this event where we go through all those questions and make sure that all of that's answered. So feel free to drop that in there. And I think we're going to show a little screen here that folks can join. We have a brand new WhatsApp group that we've launched, and we want to be able to have this space to have a place for folks to keep this conversation going and keep the excitement up. So we're going to be sharing that screen with you here in just a second, and throughout this discussion, so that if you missed it at the beginning, we're going to show it a few more times as we're chatting here. But I wanted to give a
Let's
quick
get that up
opportunity.
first.
There it
Then people
is.
can hopefully see that screen. So this is like a WhatsApp group. I mean, if we've got to use the tools and get people involved where they are. So I know a lot of people are struggling with. We're on a lot of channels, but here we have created this WhatsApp group for the Order of Metaye, which is basically everyone who's invested in metaKnyts to date, and some of people who have bought our NFTs or kind of joined us through that way. So this is kind of another open channel. We've got all the other ones, including the personal AI channel, but I know that's a little bit of a learning curve for people. So effectively, one of the things we're really going to be doing is building out the halo, all these touch points where we have outside of our kind of core channel. So you can just scan that QR code. That will enable you to join the WhatsApp group. We can respond to questions and not sort of have everything in this sort of email exchange, which is not as fluid as most people would prefer. So yeah, we'll come off there.
Absolutely. And as we continue to roll out the coin, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more things to talk about and questions and exciting things to share. So make sure that that group is part of your rotation in your WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp habits. So I think we've covered all of the ground for what people can expect. So I think it's just time to dive right in. I know you gave us a little bit of taste of this in your intro, but can you just kind of frame up this conversation by telling us about the vision behind the metaKnyts universe and what really like inspired you to bring the KNYT into play.
Yeah, sure. So I think let's bring this up here. I mean, a lot of you are familiar with metaKnyts, and I'm not going to do a lot of slideware here, but ultimately, the metaKnyts has always been this, crypto and edutainment franchise. How do we teach people about all of the complexities with crypto, decentralized technology, but also about data sovereignty, data ownership, and how to bring that to bear, and really using storytelling and play to facilitate that. So as you all know, we ran the Reg CF campaign. We raised 1.2 million. I think we were the largest number of people in a Reg CF campaign at that time, from 3,500 investors. And we use that to really build out the core franchise, build out the core story, build out these 13 episodes. So a lot of the work to date has been building the platform. And that's really started with the creative platform more than anything else, really telling our story, because stories really, interestingly, stories is how mankind survives. That's how we teach survival tactics, by packaging them in stories. So we wanted to get the story as our foundation built, and we've done that. And then the next thing was really like a lot of our Web3 promises around tokenization and building out this portfolio of NFTs and collectibles, which was really our go-to-market promise about digital collectibles and transforming, using ownership to really transform that experience. So that was really done. And then the next thing was then really integrating our gaming sort of visions and ambitions around that. So really all of that kind of was really done and established, and really using this to sort of really bring this foundation of our community together. And I think, in fact, I'm going to come away from this for a second. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to here to show you our KNYT wallet. So I think one of the big sort of advances in terms of what we did was really introducing our KNYT wallet. And we know a lot of people had a lot of problems with how they came into our KNYT wallet before in the process. So I want to just show you, first of all, because I know some people are still struggling with this, but I'm going to go here and just show you, this is our KNYT wallet, and this is actually the wallet. It's like a website. Many of you have a link. You can use metaKnyts.me, www.metaknyts.me. Don't worry about the unsecure connection. That's just because of the domain name aspect of it. This is the most secure wallet, one of the most secure wallets in crypto. It's basically every wallet in our system, every individual wallet is insured to up to $1 million by Lloyd's of London. So it's super safe, but super easy. So you basically just put your email address in here. You get this message, request a code. Then you will basically get a code sent to you via email. And you can see this is it here, in mine here. And once that arrives, my machine's a little bit slow because it's doing all of this. You basically copy this. You can memorize it and copy it, or you can just copy and paste it. And then basically, bang, zoom, you are in the wallet. Now, when you arrive here, you get these messages, welcome, blah, blah, blah. You can just go okay here. And then it will start looking for your perks. Now, everyone here will have this Investor Night card. One of the things that you can always do here is discover more. So if you, and it's a good exercise to do that when you first arrive here, to discover more in case there are any new perks that are showing up, as there will be from time to time. But make sure you have this Investor Night card. And you can go into any of these and it will show you details. I'm not going to spend too much time going through the wallet today, but I do want to just show you here on the collectibles, because this is basically how you claim this is where your NFTs reside. So basically, every one of you here should have these collectibles in your wallet instantly. So your Investor Night card, now these are all NFTs. So your Investor Night card, and there's details around that here. And you can go in and you can see here, if you click on these details, it gives you the address of the contract, and your token ID is, well, it's hidden under this one, but you'll have your token ID there as well. And you'll also see here, you can view them as animations or still images. That's useful. With these ones, that's particularly important when you come to your night books. So effectively, these are copies of the first 2 copies of the saga are available to everyone, and you can view them as an animation, and you can play that here, and you can come out full screen, and you can activate the volume. I'll just move it along a bit so that you can see, but you can activate the volume. It initially plays muted. That's fine. You can go full screen if you want. You can come down. So basically, super easy to use. It couldn't be easier. All you need to do is just enter your email address to be able to access the Night Wallet. So this, I think, is, and the final thing I'll show here, actually, just so you can kind of see, is offers. And I'm showing you this profile because this is like a profile I've created where I've not activated anything. I've not saved anything. Actually, I should show you this on collectibles as well. Very important point here. So you've got these 5 that will be there. But when you go to discover more, you will see we released 14 night cards. And actually, I don't know where night book. There's another night book here. I guess this account hasn't claimed that night book. But you've got all of these night posters here. Now, and I would urge you to do these sooner rather than later, although you should technically always have access to these because of your investor night card. But these are all night posters that we've released. There's 1 poster for every episode. There are 13 episodes, and there is 1 extra one, which is for Black Salt, which is a partnership that we have, which I'll talk a little bit about later on as well. And with any of these night cards, you can basically see here, you'll get details. With the NFTs, you always have this, the contract address, and then you can go to buy now, and these are all free. So once you click accept, then this will now be part of your collectibles. So I suggest that you collect all of these 14. You won't see them initially here when you come to collectibles. You have to go to this discover more, but there are these 14 additional NFTs of posters that you can collect. So I encourage everyone to collect those. And then finally, the last thing I'll show you very quickly here is offers. And again, the way the wallet works is that you kind of have to claim things to get them to show. So if you go to discover more here, you'll see that you can basically, you'll see all the comics, and you'll see them in print versions. If you click on them, it will take you to the Amazon store. You can buy the print ones, or you'll see the digital ones. So you see print versus night books. So print versions, print book 3, print book 4, night book, we call the motion comics and animations, and even the PFPs are here. So you can access all of it's like a store. Effectively, the offers is like the metaKnyts store, effectively, where you can access all of the content. And there's some other stuff here with our AI services and our partnership with MetaStadiums, which I'll talk a little bit about later as well, all accessible from the wallet. So this is really one of the big achievements, I think, in terms of what we've achieved with the project over the last, year or so specifically. I think really nailing the Night Wallet, nailing the franchise, getting the core IP together, nailing the wallet, getting all of that core stuff in place is the foundation. And then really, the Night Coin now is to come into that foundation and really turbocharge it. So the powerful thing about this is that you'll be able to use Night Coin to buy all of these products. We've given a lot of stuff away to our community initially, like the night posters and the first episodes. But these things are all going to start to be priced in different increments. And we're going to start to create ways where you can combine ownership of these things to create your own unique portfolio. And each of these portfolios will have a unique combination. And I don't want to give too much away because there's a big thing we're planning at the end of the year. But essentially, we're going to create a graphic novel of all the books brought together, but based on the way that you collect yours and the configurations that you'll have your own unique version of that. So, Night Coin is going to play a really key role, first of all, in being able to use to purchase goods from within the ecosystem, which is unique in terms of cryptocurrencies, in the sense that there's a marketplace and there's an ecosystem, there's products before the currency arrives. Most people launch a currency to create that stuff.
Yeah.
And then want to use it for membership rewards, as well as the key thing, which, you know, I will just touch on, is data monetization. And that's going to be a really key part of what KNYT pilots and showcases. And that's going to be both in the game and in the story world aspect of metaKnyts, but also, you know, in terms of just in the wallet, in terms of just, you don't have to be into gaming to be able to benefit from KNYT as a way to be empowered and to be empowered from the information and data. So that's kind of the vision, for it to really create a value creation engine for the metaKnyts community. I mean, the engine's really the flywheel, but the coin becomes the currency. And, you know, to keep that, you know, currency moving around the community and building value for our community, generally speaking. Take a pause there.
Absolutely. And you're hitting on some points that we've kind of talked about between the two of us, but I'm excited to talk about this with a wider group. You know, there are some things that make KNYT COYN very unique, not just within the metaKnyts universe, but outside of it as well. Can you kind of talk about how this is different from investing in other coins and in other crypto, and kind of paint a picture about, you know, how this is investing in not just your future, but in the future of people you know and love?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's a couple of really good important points here as well. The other thing that's really important about KNYT COYN is, like, as an investment instrument, and I use that term loosely in the grand sense, right? You know, of course, the disclaimer, this is an investment advice that you have to give with all of these crypto things. But in terms of investing your time and your energy and your resources, now, our whole motto is transforming ownership through storytelling and play. So when we came to market, we came with the Reg CF offering because, and again, there's so many of these crypto projects that just talk the talk and really don't walk the walk. You know, if you look at something like Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, for example, right? That stuff is all, how much is that? How much have they gone? Is that worth now compared to how much money they generated? Now, they were all giving this spiel about you were owning your own ape and all whatnot, but you didn't own any stakes in Yugo Labs, right? It was all kind of like, it was like it's still being a consumer. You're a patron, a consumer. So for us, the foundation was give people a chance to own part of the company, which we did with the Reg CF. And we still continue to have a WeFunder Reg CF. We haven't been pushing it hard at the moment because really it's one type of investment instrument. And very importantly, with shares, especially for new startup, you're really talking about a 10, 15-year window before you can own that. So if you think about a company like Disney, which is always the model, everyone wants to be the new Disney, right? But, you know, if you can imagine owning shares in Disney back in the 50s when it was founded, right? Versus now the NFTs, which is like particularly owning a version of Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, some of these early characters, original versions of them. So that was the next big evolution for us in terms of that ownership. Own the characters, own the story, own the products, own the media, you know, that we're producing, especially from a digital media perspective, right? Yeah. So that was the second type of ownership. Now, KNYT COYN fits really perfectly in the middle, right? Because the collectibles, yeah, they're collectible. You know, if you imagine when you bought Marvel comics or like an early Mickey Mouse drawing, for example, you might hold on to that for numbers of years, or you might not. You might trade them, like, you know, trading cards and stuff like that.
Right.
And the KNYT COYN is designed to be a more like a currency, right? It's really kind of it's like a Disney bucks, if you will, or Robux, you know, in something like Roblox. And this is designed to be our KNYT bucks, effectively, that's in our community. And that, as I say, is a engine for value creation, but it also then is a platform for partnerships with other third parties, right? And there's a lot of really exciting partnerships that we have. So of course you'll be able to buy all of our merchandise and stuff like that with it. But one of the, you know, we've got a partnership with So I'm going to show you, let me share this one. So effectively, one of the partnerships we have is with MetaStadiums, which a lot of you have heard about. So of course you'll be able to buy things like merchandise with our products like that. I'm not going to go into the game so much in the moment, but with MetaStadiums, for example, who have a partnership with the Volkswagen Group, and they're building real digital twins of Lamborghinis, and this is really exciting with Animoca, and it's a really, really exclusive, really powerful partnership, and particularly with Black Salt as well. So they're going to be introducing these custom versions of Black Salt, and you might some of you recall we gave you these avatars, not the two versions, Ready Player Me and Avaturn ones. These are the Avaturn avatars, and basically with our partnership with MetaStadiums, we're working it out whereby you'll be able to buy like these Lambos, for example, with KNYT COYN as well. So, and there's a whole metaverse framework that we've got with Lamina One and other partners like that, where you'll start to now be able to take your metaKnyts experience and we've got, of course, and I'll show you a little bit more in a second about our metaKnyts Digitaria gaming context. But then also you'll be able to take that into partner worlds. So I'll pause for a bit here and let you just see a little bit of what the metaKnyts Digitaria gaming experience looks like, so you can get a sense of how this is going to work and just a bit of the virtual environment. So what you're seeing here, turn it up a bit. So you can see here, this is like a digital environment. It's like a digital home. So this is actually your home in the metaverse. And you can see there was a flying car there. Versus this is now training, where you're actually in the battleground, getting into the game, where you're actually going to be fighting with fangs. And these aren't the actual fangs. This is still in development, but you can see here. And what you'll see here that's quite interesting is that you'll have these companions that come on the battle with you. You can see the one in the background there. So these will be non-player character AIs, and I'm going to show you AI companions. And so you'll also be able to use KNYT COYN to buy these companions, train them, trade them, and these are like guns for hire that can follow you and that you can put out to field to do other stuff for you within the game. So I know that everyone here is not a gamer, but you can just see some of the transformative kind of stuff that's going to happen on the gaming front. And I want to just show you very quickly here. I'm just going to move this along a bit. But yeah, so this is an example. And this is very early. This is kind of very early cut of this, so it's really quite raw. But you'll see this is like an AI character. I'll let it play for a bit.
Navy SEAL and intelligence agent turned digital revolutionary. My journey has taken me from the shadows of espionage to the forefront of the metaverse, where I fight for justice and liberation. How can I assist you today?
So you can see you can ask it questions.
The cypherpunks are a renegade group of digital revolutionaries dedicated to protecting freedom and privacy in the digital world. They fight against corporate tyranny and strive to create a decentralized and just metaverse. Led by the elusive Satoshi Nakamoto, they operate from the hidden stronghold known as the Citadel. They are my allies in the quest for digital sovereignty. Do you have any other questions about them? The metaKnyts are a group of heroes within the metaverse, each with unique skills and backgrounds, united by a common goal: to protect and liberate the digital world from oppressive forces. We come from various walks of life, but our paths converge in the fight against corruption and tyranny. Together, we leverage cutting-edge technology and ancient wisdom to challenge the status quo and safeguard the freedoms of all digital citizens. Any other questions about our mission or members?
So, that's an example of an NPC AI character that will be able to, that we'll train. So we've trained it on data. And like I say, it's very raw. The character is going to be a much more animated. So you really feel like you're having a conversation with the character through the experience. But this integration of AI and piloting of personalized AI is something that we're really at the forefront of. We're really going to be breaking ground and breaking terrain in terms of what we're doing there. And then there's this good old-fashioned gameplay, right? So buying weapons and stuff like that. So, I think it's important to just, get a sense that there's going to be some real next generation innovation. There's going to be some real next generation innovation from a gaming experience perspective, but also metaKnyts is really designed to be this kind of sandbox area for us to pilot a lot of these capabilities, particularly around data monetization. So, one of the things that we're really excited about is going to be to bring this ability to monetize your data in game. So you can see like these loot boxes, this will all be worth real KNYT, which will be real money effectively. And, we're going to give people a way to bring their data in, and then we're going to bring brands in, but not for advertising, more like product placement if people want. So that will just allow us to get a revenue in game, which will then distribute to players. So when you're fighting the fangs, you're going to basically try and protect data from fang agents. And, if you kill fang agents, you'll be able to get money from them. So just basically gamifying this whole sort of data sovereignty space in a way that we haven't really seen done anywhere before.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you're hitting on so many things. I'm so excited to talk about them a little bit more in depth in just a second. But before I ask you another question, do you mind showing us the QR code for the WhatsApp group one more time? We have a few questions in the chat asking because folks want to join, which is awesome. So I want to ask a little bit more of a question where we're taking a step back here. What are some of the key milestones that you really think have gotten us to this point? What are some of the successes that we've seen, whether it's through investment or the community, that makes it really possible for us to be here?
Sorry, can you just repeat the question again? I was looking at something.
Yeah, no worries. So there are obviously a ton of key milestones that have had to be achieved in order to get us here, whether it's, through our community, through investment, through time and heart. So what are some of those milestones that you...
What are the milestones that have been on investments? Well, I think, obviously the Reg CF raising 1.2 million on the Reg CF was massive. And that was huge. That really set us off on the platform to really get going. I think building out the franchise, building out the story was another really critical milestone. I think getting the wallet launched was a really important milestone. I mean, there were lots of technical gremlins along the way, getting people personalized avatars, finding a way to do that in a way that worked. So there's a lot of technical stuff that needed to be gone done. And then simple stuff, there was stuff like, logistics of getting things delivered. We had a merch line, which just became a bit challenging to manage with such a small resort team. So moving around that, but there were lots of things we're trying to do with NFTs that just weren't possible, that hadn't been done before. Like, for example, we wanted to release print versions of, digital versions of PDFs of the night books, and you
Yeah.
couldn't do that. NFTs aren't figured out to do that. So we could only do the motion comics, but we have cracked that now. So we've done a lot of technical innovating in the background as well. That's put us in a position where a lot of these things can be solved. But I think the big investment milestones definitely was the Reg CF that really established the platform for us to really build the franchise and build the IP to this very advanced state to get the alpha of the game done, you know, to even with, you know, which is it's not an insignificant amount of money, but it's very small in terms of the kind of media franchise that we've built. And to be so far along with the game development and with the portfolio, I think that's really been the kind of key building block.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Before we dive into more of the private round details and what people can expect in this round, I'm wondering if we can show the WhatsApp QR.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I did show, you know, that's what I was trying to figure out. I see what was going on. I was in the wrong mode. So if I go like this, yeah, I did have it up earlier. There we go.
There we go.
So that means that did you guys not see any of the stuff I was just showing then?
No, we saw all of that. I swear.
Okay. So yeah, there's I've got a lag on my second screen, so I can't actually see what's going on.
No, you're all good. And I'm going to leave this up on the screen for just a few more minutes, just in case folks are joining and want to be able to join the group. But I want to be able to dive into some of the specifics with this private round and some of the exclusive perks. So what can people expect when they're entering this round? What are the perks? What's the value?
Right. So I think the first thing is very important. So this private round is private. It's only open to metaKnyts investors in the short term. I think if it's okay, can we come off the...
Yeah, I think it's safe.
Okay.
We can show it again at the end too.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think one of the first things is that this round is private. It's really only open to the Order of Metaye, which is basically our members club. So anyone who's invested in metaKnyts is automatically inducted into the Order of Metaye. And that starts with, there are basically 4 levels. So at the base level is metaKnyts, or KNYT is the technical term that we use specifically for those. Then there's KNYT, which is second knights. Then there's first knights, and then there's zero knights is the highest level. So this is only open to Order of Metaye members, who the vast majority are pre-investors in the campaign. Some people are Order of Metaye members for having joined the or bought into like our PFPs or port collection. And there will be more of that as we expand the order, as we expand the project, particularly with KNYT COYN. There will be routes for people to ascend the ranks without necessarily having to make investments to do so, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is that there is multiples on the investment. So when we launch in the public sale, basically the KNYT COYN will be 1-to-1 to $1. So one KNYT COYN will be $1. But what we have is multipliers. So in this private round now, for our zero knights, anyone who's invested $1,000 or more previously will be able to get 2 KNYT coins for each dollar they invest. So there's a 2x multiplier. And that 2x multiplier will be basically on any investments they make going forward. So if you're a zero knight and you've invested $1,000 before, and you want to invest $500 now, you'll basically get $1,000 worth of tokens for that. Now, if you're a first knight, so a first knight would be someone who's invested $500 previously, you will get a 1.5x multiplier. So if you invested $500, but here's the interesting part. If you invested $500 before and you invest $500 now, then technically we are going to recognize the previous 500 you invested, which will then give you like 1,000. So you become a 0 knight and you get the 2x multiplier. So instead of just getting 750 for your investment, you'll basically get 1,000 knight coin for your investment if you previously had invested 500. But there is a little bit of a catch, because what we're going to do is, like, when you make your investment now, you'll basically get that 1.5 multiplier. That will be, so you'll get 750 if you invested 500 and you had invested 500 before. Then after we finish the public sale and everything's closed, we're going to do a consolidation and reconciliation, because we're going to introduce a new wallet and a new identity management service. So we're going to give people a little bit of work to do, like correct your address, make sure we've got all the right details, connect your wallets to it, connect your social accounts into this Knight Cube. And we'll be talking about that a lot in the future. iCubes is our information management protocol. That's from our kind of sister tech company. So we'll give people a little bit of work to do to create this iCube, and then you'll get rewarded for doing that with that Knight coin bonus going forward. So basically the tiers in this private round are 2x for $1,000 investment or more, 1.5x for $500 investment or more, 1.3x for a 250, actually, sorry, it's correction. 2x for 1,000 or more, 1.5x for 590 for 600 or more, actually. And then it's 1.3 for 250 or more. And no, sorry, actually, I've got it written down here. Yes, here we go. Trust the.
It's just numbers. What's that mean?
So yeah, it's 2x for 1,000 or more, or yeah, over 999. 1.5x for over 600. 1.3x for over 250, and 1.2 for anything over 100, which is basically was the entry level of investment before. There isn't a minimum investment in this private round, so you can invest, but essentially anything over $100, you get a 1.2x on. And then we'll count your previous investment to bump your investment total up, but that will be rewarded afterwards. And then when it goes into the public sale, those numbers come down. So in the public sale, it will be 1.5x to for 1,000 or more, 1.3x for 600 or more, 1.2x for 250 or more, and 1-to-1 for 100 or less. So any form of investing 1 or 2. So basically, that's the first major perk. You'll get a much bigger multiplier in this from that. Then also, 20% of the disbursement is going to be allocated to the Order of metaKNYTS. And that will be for member rewards, for promoting, rewards for being active in the community. So there will be, and for data management and data provisioning and data related kind of activities. So there will be 20% of the tokens will go to the Order of metaKNYTS for community activation, community building, community development, community rewards for other kinds of activities as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about the perks and everything. Let's get down to business. Let's talk about how people can get on the platform and make this happen. There's not a lot to do. It's a pretty straightforward process from what I hear, but can you just outline the steps for participating in this round?
All right, fantastic. So I think if you can just navigate us around, I can go to. So I think I might have to refresh this. So basically, you will go to KNYTCOYN.com. So www.http://KNYTCOYN.com, and basically very simple site. And when you get here, you basically go buy now, and this will then take you to this site. So you basically say, how many do you want to buy? Each one's $1, so it's like this will probably work in increments, bigger increments, but effectively you can do that, and you can basically say how many you want to buy, and then you'll basically either connect your wallet or log in with social. So you can, those of you who have crypto wallets, you can use a MetaMask or whatever, but you don't have to. So this is a real thing we've really focused a lot on making these processes to join as easy as possible. I personally, if I'm going to use social, prefer Apple, but I know a lot of people use Google. So you could basically select a Google account, sign in. I will choose this one. And basically, once you sign this process, sometimes it can take, and these things can be particularly slow when I'm doing video conferences at the same time. But effectively, what will happen is this will create a wallet for you in the background, and don't worry about consolidating with your other wallets. We're going to get to that, like I say, when we do the reconciliation round. But it will basically, and then you'll get this buy now and now. So you can either buy with ETH, in which case you'll be able to do that. And then now you go choose your payment method, and you can either pay with crypto or credit card. Now, if you're going to use a credit card, you basically it tells you how much, the amount that you're choosing to buy is going to be. And then basically you can then go continue. And what will then happen is it will then take you through to a site where you can basically acquire the ETH to use using your credit card. Take a minute to load, I guess. And then once you make that acquisition, you'll basically see, so sign up to log in to link. So, and you can use, let's do enemy.com. And then continue. And then, so this is a process now that you'll be able to use to actually buy cryptos to effectively enable you to do that. And then you put in a phone number. I'll put a bonus number for, well, actually, this is among friends. So I think many of you do have my number anyway. Although I guess this is going to go out, and then I'll get an email sent with a login code. So you basically go through a process that's like this, similar, but a little bit more straightforward. So I'm just going to a lot of this re-authentication stuff. So add your personal info. So you'll add this information, birthday. So you've got to do this KYC if you're going to buy with fiat, if you're going to use a credit card. If you're paying with ETH, or then you don't need to do this. You'll just be able to go straight forward and use your wallet and pay with ETH. But here you kind of got to enter all of this detail. So I'm not going to do that here, but it's pretty straightforward, and you'll be able to purchase like that. I will show you. I'm just going to cancel that transaction. I'm going to do this again. Let's go. In fact, I haven't tried this yet like this. I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to say this time I'm going to let's just say this is going to be updated. In this private round, you are getting early access, and it is going to some of these features will be updated as we go along. Like this will move in increments of 10, I think. So I'm going to go connect wallet, and this time I'm going to say, well, actually, I'm going to still do connect with my social login. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just connect with MetaMask. So if you, and I know a lot of people have set up MetaMask accounts from previous stuff that we've done. So, this is the sort of crypto way of going forward, in which case you could go a lot quicker and not have to do all the KYC stuff. But you know, by the same token, I know that this is a little bit challenging for some people. You know, this is kind of part of the learning process, and you know, metaKnyts is all about teaching people how to be crypto active. So we are going to improve this process. We've already got things in the work that are going to make this process even easier than it is now. But this is pretty straightforward in terms of the two paths that you can go and in terms of signing in. But we've got some real breaking stuff. By the time we get to the public round, this process will be significantly different. So, you know, again, I've got multiple accounts. You can choose which one you want to connect to, you confirm, and then it will connect, and then basically it's going to tell me. I know that I don't think I've got any ETH in this particular wallet, but yeah, I will go buy now, and then effectively it will come up with Ethereum, and then you basically would sign it, and then you would go through the process of you would get your coins assigned to your account and wallet. So you can see here ZK actually, yes. So sometimes I'm on the wrong network here. So because I was doing something with this earlier, so it's asking me to change my network, which is fine. So then you might have to do buy again. But effectively, it will bring up the Ethereum, and it will just ask me to sign the transaction, and bang zoom, you'll have the KNYT coin in your wallet. So yeah, so you can see choose payment method. I'm going to say crypto, and that's my account. And yeah, it's telling me I don't have not enough funds in the wallet to pay that. But if you've got the right funds in your wallet, then you can continue. And what you do when you do the credit card payment, you can put ETH in your wallet as in automatically, and you don't have to spend all of it. And you would have ETH there to basically continue that transaction in the future. So it's pretty. I mean, as far as crypto goes, you know, it's almost as painless as you can get, really. It's as painless as it will get more painless. We promise to make it more painless going forward, but it's relatively smooth.
It's my mission to get my mom on it. So if I can get her on it, I can get anyone on it, right?
Absolutely. And that's, you know, I'm glad you made that point, actually, because that's a really important thing I think about metaKnyts as a franchise. You know, we really see this as, and KNYT particularly, it's really about intergenerational wealth building, right? You know, we have a lot of investors in our network that are Gen Xers, older Gen Xers, and even boomers, right, who got into this for their grandchildren, or you know, or for the nephews, you know, some Xers for the kids and whatnot. And that's really a key thing about this. We want to make it easy for our older members to understand crypto and get in. And the stuff that you need to be learning about crypto isn't about, you know, how to sign and all of this stuff, and you know, how to kind of get a seed phrase. It's really about intergenerational wealth transfer. It's about how do you own your assets? How do you own digital items? How do you make sure that, you know, our kids are learning stuff that's good for their minds, that's healthy for their minds? And how do we transfer knowledge? How do we transfer knowledge and wealth? That's when you think about intergenerational wealth building, right? It is really about the transfer of information. That's really the heart of it. Financial literacy, you know, digital literacy. How do you transfer that? That's really the heart of what KNYT COYN is really about. It's really about allowing us to do that in an intergenerational context. And we are from Gen X's and boomers all the way down to alphas. I mean, my kids are alphas, and, you know, and they're a different bunch.
I was going to say, you must know Skibbity Toilet and all that stuff.
Exactly. So that's a really exciting part of it. But yeah, it's got to be, I mean, I'd like to get my mom on. I think that's a that's a good challenge for me to rise
I'm
to.
going to get her. I know I will. Because I was talking to her about it and she was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. There's so much value. And, you know, she's very on board. So I'm going to get her to that next step. Before we open things up for our Q&A, because I know we have some questions in the chat here, I just want to take a quick look ahead. You know, I know we have a couple exciting things in the future. So I want to kind of focus on, you know, what are some of the plans that we have coming up? I know that I'll share a couple universal basic income themes here in a second, but what are you looking forward to as we're looking to the next steps of this?
So I think there's a lot happening in the product space, like with the metaKnyts. The alpha game is going to be a real big thing. There's a lot happening towards the end of the year. As we're moving towards the end of the year, we want to release an alpha of the game. There's a lot of partnerships we're building with Meta Stadiums, with Lamina One, building out the ecosystem, building out the product franchise, and using KNYT to kind of drive this interweaving of all these disparate pieces. I'm very excited about graphic novels, which we're hoping to do for the end of the year. So there's a lot around the product side of it. I'm very excited about our South by Southwest panel potential at the moment. So, you know, and being in the cultural space there is really exciting. So please, if you guys saw the emails about that, please vote for us. You know, that's, you know, that kind of community participation is great, and it will be a great platform to get the messaging out there. And I'm really excited to prove a lot of the points, like around data monetization and giving people a platform and a way to be able to do that in a meaningful and impactful way. You know, and that's an intergenerational capability. It's about not only about how do we get safe online, but how do we get value online in a way that is in a safe manner, right? So I'm very excited about being able to bring that vision and that mission to life through storytelling and play.
Yeah, absolutely. And just have to echo what Deli said. Please vote for our South by Southwest panel. The link is in the WhatsApp group, or will be in the WhatsApp group. I've dropped it in a few different places, so I'll double check and make sure that it's in the right WhatsApp group here. But I just want to touch on a theme I'm very excited to explore with metaKnyts. You know, as we're looking to the future, we're exploring some exciting themes around universal basic income. And weaving into that what we're doing and some messaging to kind of explain the value of this community to a wider group. Recently, there's been a ton of conversation linking UBI to data collection and then compensating individuals for the data that they're providing. You know, the bread and butter kind of here of what we're talking about. This approach obviously really resonates with a lot of what we're doing at metaKnyts. And as AI becomes more integrated into our lives, the need for this kind of attention and this correlation is only going to increase. So by aligning some of the themes in the metaKnyts universe with UBI, we can really create a strong connection between our mission and this very topical, increasingly discussed conversation. An action forcing event we're talking about experimenting with you know, this year or next year would be International Basic Income Week. And so that's a global event that brings together advocates and policymakers and researchers to discuss the value of UBI. And we see a very strong synergy between that messaging and the mission here. And so I'm really excited to continue to weave those kinds of themes further into our South by Southwest discussion and into more kinds of external content to make sure that we're reaching the widest group possible, to make sure we're reaching my mom and all the folks who might not see the name metaKnyts and immediately understand like what the capabilities of this amazing ecosystem are. So I'm very excited to keep exploring those themes and continue to spread awareness about you know, data sovereignty and how we can reclaim our digital selves. So I want to kind of open it up to Q&A now. I know that we have some questions here in the chat. So I think we can start here. It says, do we receive the coins in physical 3D printing? And can we expect them to be shipped to us, or will we just own these coins virtually?
I love that question. It's quaint. They're digital coins. You know, that's one of them. I always say that is one of the most genius things about Bitcoin, is the name, calling it a coin, right? Like,
Yeah.
it gives you this visual of this physical thing. No, it's electronic. It's electronic money. So at some point in the future, we may print physical versions of them, but that would be more for gimmick and play than anything else. And there are some interesting things we're doing in the physical space, but no, they are electronic. It's basically electronic money, digital money. Most money today is electronic anyway. So no, it will be digital ones, but you'll get them. You'll see them like in your credit card or your banking app. You don't get physical dollars very much these days. It's just numbers on the screen basically, but it is real money that can be reused for real things.
Yeah, I think I'm like the only person I know that has cash anymore. It's funny that way. We have another question here. It says, I own / have investments in the coins through the Start Engine network. So how can I register for an account in the KNYT COYN website?
Yeah, so and I've seen a few questions around this theme about people have invested before in Start Engine. So you have to understand they're very different things. In Start Engine, you invested in shares in the company. You own shares in metaKnyts, which is basically when metaKnyts either on a secondary market sells them, or if we go public in the future, then you'll be able to trade those shares. And that's a securities instrument. It's regulated by the SEC. You own shares in the company. So this goes back to the point that you can think of it like three types of different assets. You own shares in the company. That's a long-term play, really and truly. You're unlikely, the value of your shares have gone up, but we're still very private. So I think between our Start Engine first raise and our second raise, we had a multiple of 6 in terms of the value of the company. We went from 8 million to 50 million valuation. But that's shares, and you'll be able to eventually sell those shares on secondary markets. With Start Engine is starting to do, or when we go public. The other type of asset is then our NFTs, like our collectibles, like our comics, our books, our characters, our posters. All of these have different value. Like we did a collection of PFPs, profile pictures, which are called PFPs, where we had these artists hand draw them and mix them together with AI. And those were like a couple of $100, very rare, still very collectible. And, and they will feature as part of our ecosystem in a different way. So that's another kind of instrument. These KNYT coins are a currency. So this is a KNYT currency. It's almost like, you could think of it almost like reward points, loyalty points, or air miles in that kind of corporate kind of context. It's like like air miles in a sense that have value in their currency. They're probably a bit more valuable than air miles, but similarly to how air miles work, you can use them to buy things from partners and affiliates and groups and the like around that. But because it's crypto, things can get quite crazy with them. So the values we're going to manage that. We don't want it to we want to use this as an internal currency more within the community, but it's a third type of asset effectively. And effectively, there will be much earlier liquidity. So what we are doing with KNYT COYN is every 6 months or so, we'll have a big liquidity event. So there will be 18.6 million tokens in total. That's what the smart contract has. And anyone who's been following metaKnyts know that's a very special number for us. But we're only releasing it in tranches of 10%. So this token generating event 1, our first one, will release 1.86 million tokens only. And then in about 6 months, maybe sooner, maybe towards the end of the year, because of what we've got planned with when we launch the alpha game, when we have a big event, we'll then do another token generating event where we'll release another 10%. But what we'll do between now and the next token generating event is really build a lot of value into the ecosystem. So it kind of is frothing. And then when we do the second event, that value will kind of normalize a bit, but then people will be able to liquidate their tokens again for cash at that point. Then, you know, we'll buy back from people as we sell more tokens out, if people want to convert their coins into cash at that point. So it's a much more shorter term time frame for liquidity, for being able to convert your coins or your asset into cash if you want to do that. What we're going to try and encourage people to do is to keep holding them and to keep circulating them through the ecosystem and see value in them, and incentivize people to build that value, so they just become more valuable as we build that value through the ecosystem together. So in short, just to be very direct about it, you know, it is a different kind of asset to the shares that people bought with Start Engine. You know, I think we've given a lot of value. If you look at the wallet, for example, everyone here in this and I know a lot of people haven't claimed their wallets. Everyone should claim their wallet, and you have at least 20 different NFTs now in the wallet, you know, from the metaKnyts universe. And those are we're gonna build value into those. You will see as we unfold the story now, as we unfold this project, those assets are going to start to connect together, and you'll build up this portfolio. And the more you complete your portfolio is, the more valuable it will become, you know, because everything's limited edition, everything's limited volumes. There's only 1,860 PFPs, there's only 1,860 posters and all of these things. So, you know, you'll start to get value from there's a lot of value that's being given as part of being investors already into this. And now this is the next chapter in terms of the evolution. And it's particularly important in terms of building out the game, which is really going to be an engine for value in value generation. So this is, you know, there's an opportunity to essentially buy into those. What I will say, though, is, as I say, 20% of the allocation will go to the Order of metaKNYTs. So we will be as an Order of metaKNYTs, but, you know, you're going to have to do a little bit of work in terms of being active and, you know, claim your wallet and all of these things, and, you know, share information or do stuff to show us that you're part of the community. It's not going to be onerous, but you'll be able to earn KNYT Coin from those sort of processes as well as Order of metaKNYTs members. But the key opportunity now is to get in and buy KNYT Coin before it gets out to the public. Because the secret with crypto, it's like the early bird gets not just the best worm, gets the majority of the value. It's kind of a rigged game in many senses, the way crypto works. And it's like the big whale investors get in earliest on these projects, and they get in because they're in these inside groups, in these private rounds that no one can get access to. So we're trying to give that value to our community. We're trying to shield. That's why we've created 2 weeks of this private round, so that only our community can get in and get that maximum value out of the coin.
Yeah. There's a couple more questions here in the chat. One I can answer really quick. Yes, you will be able to go back and watch this video. We will have it available for folks to watch again. We have another question here. Is there a maximum that we can purchase from the first tranche of coins?
No, there isn't a limit. I mean, there's only 1.86 million tokens. So this is one thing I keep, and people will start to understand this over time. By the time we get to TGE2, it's going to be a different story.
Right.
It's a limited supply. And, you know, when it's all gone, it's gone. So there isn't a limit. I don't think anyone's going to come in and buy the whole 1.86 million tokens. But, you know, in the SAFT round, we did do a SAFT round, which we really, it was open to everyone, but we only really promoted it to Zero Nights. And there was a 4x multiple there. So we've already sold a fair amount of token through the SAFT round. And that means the supply is going down. But no, there isn't a limit to how much you can buy. There's just a limit to how much is available in this round. And as the round goes on longer, there will be less available, obviously.
Yeah, I want to be mindful of time because I know that we're a little over. Are we okay to do 2 more questions?
No, totally. I'm you know, these things always run over. I was going to say normally, yeah. normal expectation is about 90 minutes. It's been a while since we spoke to the community, so I'm here. I'm happy to stay and answer any questions that anyone has.
Okay, great. I didn't know you had a hard stop.
Okay, you got to. I know. I am mindful.
I don't have a hard stop.
Okay,
I just wasn't sure. Yeah.
No, I do
okay,
not. So I would definitely like to get to everyone's questions if possible, but I understand if people need to drop off. That's completely fine too.
Well, let's just get to our next question then. We have, how do we claim the wallet again? Is a question that's being asked in the chat.
Okay, so the easiest way is to go to metaKnyts.me, metaKnyts.me, and let me put that up for people so you can see. Right. Yeah, sorry, I just hit it. You were doing it. Thank you. Thank you. My producer. Yes, metaKnyts.me. So that's the easiest way to do it. You just go in there and you just put your email address in. You just enter your email, and then you'll get that magic link code emailed to you. And by the way, every time you go in, you don't have to remember a password. There's nothing like that. All you need is your email. All you need to know is the email that you used. And you should use the same email you use to sign up for Start Engine or that you use to invest. And then you just put that email in, you'll get the magic code, and you get into the wallet. Every time, that's all you need to do to get into the wallet. And then you just claim, as I showed earlier, the NFTs that are there. If you have any problems, reach out to us. But the wallet is super easy. No one can say the wallet is hard, really and truly. My mom can do that. In terms of get the wallet. To buy the token, not quite yet, but we will get there.
That was pretty straightforward. I think it's time for our next question. There's a chat in here that says, are there fees for purchasing coins standardized, or is there a recommendation you may have for minimizing these?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we've had to make some trade-offs in terms of convenience versus gas fees. So there are gas fees involved, but they're not astronomical. We're keeping them as low as we can. But we have opted to use Ethereum as the platform for launching KNYT because it's just the most ubiquitous. And again, we want to have maximum flexibility in terms of what's going forward. So there will be a little bit of gas fees for purchasing coins, but we will be working towards pushing those down and minimizing those through transactions going forward.
Are these standardized or variable?
Standardized what? Tokens? Could whoever asked that question clarify what they mean?
Purchasing coins are the gas fees for purchasing.
Oh, are they standardized? They're variable. They're variable. They're always variable. Basically, the way that gas works is based on congestion in the network. So if there's a massive, that's why when there is a big project that goes live, gas fees shoot up through the roof. So it's based on congestion and then the price of ETH at the time, or the price of the currency of the network. So yeah, it is constantly variable. Sometimes, later in the day is cheaper time to buy. There are lots of sites like you can use to monitor the gas fees, but it's improved a lot in terms of ETH and gas prices generally. And in the future, we're going to work towards getting those lower, and even our ambition is to get to gasless minting eventually, but that's not quite feasible. You pay the price in terms of making it very difficult for people to sign on if you do that right now. So we opted to have an easier process and have slightly higher gas fees, but we've had a lot of problems on convenience with people in the past. So our priority is convenience. And I do see even some people here are like, it still looks kind of challenging. And I get it. It is a little bit. It will get easier. I can promise you that. And, by the end of this year, we will be in a very different position in terms of how easy it will be. But so will you, in a sense. You guys will all be much more crypto active, much more crypto literate, much more digitally strong. So, that's kind of part of the purpose of the project, to teach you, give you the skills so that you can be safe out in that crypto wide world out there as well.
Yeah. It says here, I just looked at the price of 350 coins and it was 509. I'm a 0 knight at the moment. So will I get a total of 700 coins?
Yes, is a simple answer.
Simple answer. Yes. Next question. Where do I find my secret recovery phrase?
It's a great question. And what I can tell you, I assume the person is asking this question in the context of the current Knight wallet. Here's the magic. You don't have one. You don't need one. It doesn't exist. The wallet we have got is really a game changer in that it's all you need is your email address. It's like a hardware wallet, like a ledger. I don't know if any of you these hardware wallets are crypto devices. They're the most secure. They call this cold storage because basically it's disconnected from the internet. Now, the wallet we use is provided by a company called metaKnyts. And basically, it's like a hardware wallet that's in the cloud. So you have all the convenience of a hot wallet, which is connected to the internet constantly, but you have the security of a hardware wallet. So you don't actually have any seed phrase or anything like that. They have a process that automates that on the back end. You can sign it, and we're building a very, like I say, stay tuned. Once we get through this, we're going to be launching a new Knight wallet, which is going to include a Knight ID that will allow you to connect all of your Web3 accounts across every single blockchain, and also to connect your Web2 accounts, your social media accounts, and pull in all that data. And the power of metaKnyts, like I say, it's insured to up to $1 million for every account. So it's super convenient and super secure. So no seed phrases, none of that needed for that.
One other comment / question here. It says, I just clicked to pay with my credit card to buy 50 coins, but now when I came back, it said insufficient money because of the gas fee. And I have to grab my computer charger really quickly. So I'm going to go off camera.
Sure. And I'll answer that in the meantime. So yeah, so what you might have to do in that short term is reduce the number of coins that you're going to purchase, or add more, buy more. You'll probably have to, and I haven't followed that entire journey, but when you go to buy your coins, when you buy ETH with your credit card, you may need to buy a little bit more than the 50 coins that you're going to purchase for.
Got it. Our final question is not necessarily about KNYT COYN, but it says, I know this is about KNYT COYN, but can you tell me where to access my 13 NFTs along with my emissary?
No, totally. So metaKnyts.me. And so metaKnyts.me, like I say, don't worry about the unsecure thing. That's just because of the domain, that we haven't just done a proper mapping on the redirecting, because otherwise it's a very long, awkward to explain URL to get there. But if you go to metaKnyts.me, best on a laptop as opposed to on your mobile. It's just easier to see because it doesn't reconfigure it properly on the mobile when you use metaKnyts.me. But if you do it on a laptop or on a desktop, you go to metaKnyts.me and you just put your email address in. And then when you get there, when you get that magic link, you put that magic link in, and then you go to collectibles. And when you go to collectibles, you basically click refresh or claim more, the white button at the top, and you'll see all of your collectibles there. In fact, I can show that. Do you want to put me on screen? Oh, yeah. So basically, once you get in here into the wallet, after you've signed in, you get collectibles and you just go discover more. So you should see, when you get to collectibles, initially, you should see 5 collectibles here. Like these 5 should show up instantly. And then when you go to discover more, then it will bring up these additional ones. Now, each of these, you need to claim each one individually. And that's really basically, you go in, you go view details, and then you just go buy now, and it's free. They're all free to you at the moment. So you just go accept, and when you accept it, it will show up in your wallet. I'm not going to accept it because I would like to keep this particular profile just free so I can show people if I need to.
There's another question about the secret recovery phrase. It says, I'm having trouble with this secret recovery phrase as it is acting like I need a QR code.
Is that for the Knight wallet? Is that if that person can answer? It's not a secret. So I think the code that it's asking you for has been emailed to you. So you have to check your email when you enter your email address, and it says that it's asking you for the code. That code will be emailed to you. So you have to go to your email, get the code from your email, then enter that into the code box. So that's the secret recovery phrase that you're looking for. Oh, in MetaMask, I see. Well, all right. Well, that's a different story. Right. If it's asking you for your secret recovery phrase with MetaMask, that means that you either have to re-import the wallet. So you can do one. If you saved your secret recovery phrase, this is the challenge of MetaMask and these other crypto wallets in that sense. If you saved your secret phrase, you would have to written it somewhere. They say don't copy these and paste them. You shouldn't keep it somewhere electronic. You should write it down somewhere physically. If you haven't done that, basically you've lost access to that wallet, is the kind of unfortunate fact of that way. That's really the responsibility of self-custodial wallets. So in that case, hopefully you didn't have any large amount of cryptos there or any amounts of crypto there. I know MetaMask are looking at doing some sort of recovery process, but you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure that out. Your best bet is to just create a new MetaMask account, or you may not need a new account. You may just need to create a new profile. So a new, in MetaMask, you just create a new, I think they're called accounts, but they're not actually accounts, but a new profile, and that will give you a new seed phrase. If not, then you basically need to create a new MetaMask account from scratch effectively, which is not that big a deal. And then make sure you write down your seed phrase and store it somewhere safe.
Awesome. I think that's all for our questions. Do we want to show the QR code for the WhatsApp group one more time?
Of course, absolutely. So let me do this. Yeah, if you put it on.
Yeah. There we go.
And yeah, you can sign up to the WhatsApp group and just reach Caitlin or I there, and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for your time and for your interest and your engagement. I'm so excited to continue to work with y'all to elevate and amplify these amazing efforts, and excited to keep doing it here. So we will keep y'all posted via email, Discord, all that good stuff, and of course in our WhatsApp group. And in the meantime, I'll see you on the internet.
And can I just ask everyone to give Caitlin a really super virtual hand? I know we can't see you, or we'll do a town hall sometime soon so we can get some actual feedback. But fantastic job. Thank you and welcome. We're so pleased to have you as part of the team. And yeah, let's go.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and excited to do it again soon.
All right. Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody. Bye-bye.